How's it going, Joe?
That's good. We'll talk about the scrimmage coming up. What you're expecting.
Well, hopefully we'll play fast. We have a scaled down game plans on both sides, but we're looking to execute and play fast, and hopefully play with a lot of energy. And I think there should be a lot of competition, so that will express itself Saturday, hopefully.
There's a plethora of former players that are back. What kind of, obviously excitement for your team, but pressure for your team? What do you think their emotions are?
There's pressure. I hope for their sake that they understand. There's over 300 players back, from what I understand, and it's clearly a who's who. So I hope our guys are excited about that, and they don't feel pressure, but they feel grateful to be a part of that lineage.
I know for you in your introductory press conference, really reached out to those guys, and to see that many of them come back, what does that mean to you?
I've never seen that. I've been in college football for 21 years as a player and a coach, and I've never seen 300 football alumni anywhere that would come back for a. I have many colleagues in the business, but I've never heard that for a spring game. So that is not a reflection on me at all. That is a reflection of the bond that those guys created and the family. That's University of Miami football.
Are they going to be on the sideline?
From what I understand, yeah. Yeah.
How can you talk about Malcolm Bunch? Just obviously he's impressed you guys a lot this spring. A kid didn't play at all last year. Was at right guard, now left tackle.
Yeah.
Just talk about his progress.
Well, he's had a great spring, and hopefully he'll continue to progress and get in good condition and have a great summer. But right now he's one of the guys who's had a fantastic spring, and the consistency is what's new to him. I think he's just improved steadily, and hasn't been an up and down guy. But he's really made progress this spring.
Do you see him as a left tackle?
Oh, sure.
Or do you bump him around a little bit?
Yeah, you don't mess around with that position. If they're over there, it's because they're they have the tools to do that. I think that's one position on the offensive line, other than center, that you want to make sure you have the right guy there.
I also wanted to ask you about your receivers. You had so many of them hurt. Has that been frustrating, not maybe able to see exactly what you have there?
Yeah, so much so that we're gonna play the three that are injured in a yellow shirt on Saturday, which I've never done. So, which means they won't be tackled. But Hearns, Bruno, and DJ, Devon Johnson, all three of them will play, but they'll play in a yellow shirt, which obviously will prevent them from getting hit. But we felt they worked hard, they deserved to be a part of the game, and we'll just try to protect them, and obviously their teammates will look out for them as well.
Kendall Tompkins, we haven't seen a lot of him in this spring, in terms of the scrimmages.
Yeah.
He had a big spring last year, but obviously it doesn't seem like it's quite as big as this spring.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you. Maybe the numbers haven't shook out that way in the actual scrimmages, but he's had a good spring for us, and he's a competitor. He's aggressive on the outside, and he's obviously a guy that can do a lot of things for us other than wide out, including blocking and special teams. So we're excited about him.
JoJo Nicholas, just his transition, now you're almost on the spring, just how's he done there? Obviously he's been one of the top guys. Yeah,
he's doing good. JoJo's got length, and he's smart as can be, and so he's just got to learn a couple techniques and stay with it in the off season. But Joe's doing a nice job for us there.
With Bunch doing so well, how does that affect Henderson? Does he possibly move to the right side?
Yeah, it affects all those guys, and again, we're just trying to find the best combination. And so we have discussions on it every day. Those kids compete every day. The best five start, and the best 10 travel. So whoever ends up being the best five will be. Gunn wasn't a starter at the beginning of spring. He's a starter now. So we like him. Obviously, McDermott has had a good spring. Linder's had a good spring, so we'll just see how we want to organize it, but the best 10 will travel.
Whiteclaw kicked a long field goal the other day. Has he shown you enough that maybe you feel a little, I know before you got here, you said you were worried about the kicking positions. Are you more comfortable right now?
I'm slightly more comfortable, so I don't know what that means. I'm somewhere between worried and comfortable, which I think is called uncomfortable.
What are some things you're looking at the quarterbacks tomorrow?
Well, again, again, for us, we're 200 plays into scrimmages, and I think think we have 2 interceptions. So we've got to stay on that track where we're not throwing a lot of interceptions, but not at the expense of X plays. I told those guys we want to have some explosive plays, and we want to have a decision maker back there that doesn't feel like they're being held back. I don't want to manage the game. You know what I mean? I want them to conduct the game, but I don't want them to just manage the game and hand the ball off and don't take any chances and don't move around with their feet. We want to get them to the point where they're playing fast. Obviously, leadership. Get them in and out of huddle. Run your team and execute, and then clearly continue to find your checkdowns and don't take sacks. So I know that's long-winded, but that's what we're looking for from our quarterbacks.
Coach, how do you see Von's injury progressing?
Good.
If it is at all.
Again, if it was anything serious, we would notify you through Chris's office where it's at, but he's fine.
Spring game, 2 teams drafted by,
Yeah.
I guess, partially by fans.
Sounds like it.
Was that? Yeah, it doesn't sound like it was your idea. And would you have done that in a perfect world?
Why wouldn't we do it? Yeah, I have no problem. Let's have fun with it. Again, if we have an excited fan base and an energetic fan base, as we do, a student population, why wouldn't we include them? So we've included the faculty and employees here this spring. We've included the students, and that's a way to include the fans in addition to the scrimmages in the spring game.
Does it really matter who they line up next to? I'm wondering. That's what some people are saying. Who's where as
Who
far
are
as
these
teams?
some people?
Fans. Yeah.
Well, tell them to bitch at the guys who picked the teams then.
Now, once you establish you're 2 deep at the end of the spring, will that stay that way until fall practice, or can there be some manipulation
Well, sure there could
during
be.
the summer?
And again, off the field decisions come into play there. Academics come into play. How hard they work in the off season obviously comes into play, and then is there an injury? Is somebody nicked up? Does it look like we'll get somebody back or we won't get somebody back? All that will come into play. So those are the main 4 factors that will go into it. But it will probably stay, as it's going to be released probably on Sunday or Monday.
You're going to release the 2 deep on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, just so you guys can move forward with your, forecast or whatever that you do. What do you call those things? Yeah, all that good stuff. Predictions, yeah.
Appreciate that.
With so many guys coming back, is there the football fan side of you that says at some point it's going to kind of look around the sideline and go, man, this is pretty cool?
Well, it was pretty cool when I got the list. I got to be honest with you. I shared it with the team. But it was cool when I got the list. Again, we've been saying uphold the legacy since we've been here, and the fact that they have that many brethren that really feel the need to come back and not only partake in it, but that want to share in it. I think that's critical and that's important. So we're excited about that.
2 more questions, please.
None. You guys are great.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Chelsea.
No problem.